On this day in history, we remember the remarkable individuals who shaped our world. Welcome to Who Died Today in History, where we honor their legacies. From artists to leaders, their impact lives on. If you find their stories meaningful, like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay connected.
Thank you to all our amazing channel members for your generous support.
She sang pain like a prayer and power like a storm, and her voice still echoes long after she fell silent. Dolores Mary Eileen O'Riordan was born on September 6, 1971, in Ballybricken, County Limerick, Ireland. She was the youngest of 7 children in a working-class family. As a shy girl, she found her voice in church, singing in the choir, before most people ever imagined she would change the sound of 1990s music. Her life changed in 1990 when she joined a small band called the Cranberries. At first, they were just another struggling group. Then came Linger in 1993, a soft, aching song that traveled across the world and into millions of hearts. Soon after, Dreams and Ode to My Family made the band global stars. But it was Zombie in 1994 that defined her as more than a singer. Written after a bombing in England that killed 2 children, the song was raw, loud, and fearless. Her sharp, haunting voice cut through the noise of the decade. She didn't just sing, she cried, she warned, she remembered. By the mid-90s, the Cranberries were one of the biggest bands on earth, selling tens of millions of albums and filling stadiums worldwide. Behind the fame, Dolores carried deep struggles. She spoke openly about childhood trauma and long battles with depression and bipolar disorder. She was small in size but strong in spirit, never afraid to speak her truth. She loved traditional Irish music, wrote poetry, and believed deeply in faith, even when life felt heavy. Fame never made her cold. It made her more honest. On January 15, 2018, Dolores O'Riordan was found dead at the Park Lane Hilton Hotel in London. She was only 46 years old. She had traveled there for a recording session. An inquest later ruled that she died from accidental drowning due to alcohol intoxication, found in the bathtub of her hotel room. The world woke up to the news in shock. A voice that felt eternal was suddenly gone. Ireland stood still. Fans cried in streets. Flowers covered her childhood town. Musicians across the world paid tribute, from rock legends to young artists who grew up with her songs. The President of Ireland honored her as a voice who carried the Irish spirit to the world. Her bandmates said they had lost not just a singer, but a sister. Today, Dolores is still here in sound, in Zombie, in Linger, in every aching note that feels like memory itself. Her voice remains unmistakable, pure, wild, gentle and fierce at once. She showed that vulnerability could be powerful, that pain could become art, and that a small girl from Ireland could move the world. Some voices fade with time. Dolores O'Riordan's only grows louder in the hearts that still listen. He wrote songs that sounded like secrets and sang them like dreams, leaving a voice that still feels like midnight. Harry Edward Nilsson was born on June 15, 1941 in Brooklyn, New York. He grew up poor and often alone, teaching himself music while working odd jobs, including as a bank computer operator. His breakthrough came quietly. In 1968, the Beatles named him their favorite American artist. Suddenly, people wanted to know this soft-spoken songwriter. Then came Everybody's Talkin' in 1969, used in the film Midnight Cowboy. The song floated across radios and movie theaters and made Nilsson famous overnight. But he didn't stop there. In 1971, he released the album Nilsson Schmilsson. From it came Without You, a heartbreak song he didn't even write, but made completely his own. It went to #1 around the world and won him a Grammy for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance. His voice could whisper, cry, and soar. He wrote for others too, crafting songs for artists like the Monkees, and he even worked with John Lennon during Lennon's Wild Lost Weekend years. Nilsson never chased fame. Somehow, it kept finding him anyway. Behind the music, he was shy and private. He loved staying home more than going on stage. He adored animals, especially cats, and often filled his house with them. He was funny, sarcastic, and deeply sensitive. He also struggled with alcohol and with protecting his voice, which he damaged through years of hard living. Fame gave him freedom, but it also gave him silence when the noise faded. On January 15, 1994, Harry Nilsson died at his home in Agoura Hills, California. He was 52 years old. He suffered a heart attack while on his way to take a shower in the early morning. Just weeks earlier, he had finished recording his final album, quietly returning to music after years away from the spotlight. He never got to hear how much people would love it. The news spread softly like one of his songs. Musicians, writers, and fans mourned a man who never fit into a single box. Paul McCartney called him one of the greatest American songwriters. Radio stations played his songs late into the night. For many people, his music felt tied to memories, to breakups, long drives, and lonely hours. Today, Harry Nilsson is remembered as an artist who chose honesty over noise. His songs still appear in films, commercials, and quiet playlists made for thinking. Without You still breaks hearts. Everybody's Talking still feels like movement. He proved you didn't need to shout to be heard. You just needed to be real. Some stars burn bright and disappear. Harry Nilsson chose to glow gently, and somehow that light never went out. She moved like light on a screen, gentle but unforgettable, and her presence still lingers where great cinema lives. Susanna York was born on January 9, 1939, in Chelsea, London. As a child, she moved often, spending time in Scotland and England, and trained in ballet before turning fully toward acting. Her rise came quickly. In 1960, she stunned audiences in Tunes of Glory, playing opposite Alec Guinness with a calm strength far beyond her years. 3 years later, Tom Jones made her a star. The film won multiple Oscars, and Susanna earned her own nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Then in 1969 came They Shoot Horses, Don't They?, where her heartbreaking performance as a desperate dancer brought her a second Oscar nomination. Decades later, a new generation discovered her as Superman's mother, Lara, in Superman, 1978, a role that gave her an almost mythic calm. She never chased one type of role. She moved easily between romance, tragedy, fantasy, and quiet drama. Away from cameras, she was thoughtful and private. She loved writing and published several novels and children's books. She enjoyed walking alone, reading poetry, and staying out of the spotlight when she could. She once said she preferred being known for her work, not her life. In later years, she battled cancer quietly, continuing to write even when her strength faded. Susanna York died on January 15, 2011, in London. She was 72 years old. She passed away after a long fight with cancer, surrounded by calm rather than noise. There were no dramatic headlines, just the quiet loss of someone who had given so much beauty to the screen. The film world responded with respect and sadness. Actors, directors, and critics spoke of her kindness, her intelligence, and her grace. British cinemas replayed her most famous films. Fans wrote messages about how her performances had stayed with them for decades. She wasn't loud in life, and her farewell was just as gentle. Today, Susanna York is remembered for elegance without distance. Her performances still feel human, never artificial. In Tom Jones, she is lively and playful. In They Shoot Horses, Don't They?, she is broken and unforgettable. In Superman, she feels almost timeless. She showed that strength could be soft and that emotion did not need exaggeration to be powerful. Some stars shine by being larger than life. Susanna York shone by being beautifully, quietly real. She dreamed of bright lights and silver screens, but history remembers her in shadows, as one of America's most haunting mysteries. Elizabeth Short was born on July 29, 1924, in Hyde Park, Massachusetts. As a child, she suffered from severe asthma, and doctors once feared she wouldn't live long. To help her health, she spent time in warmer places like Florida, where she fell in love with movies, glamour, and the idea of becoming an actress. Elizabeth didn't rise to fame in the usual way. She came to California in the 1940s, chasing Hollywood dreams like thousands of others. She took small modeling photos, met pilots, soldiers, and actors, and told people she hoped to be in films someday. She often stayed with friends or in cheap hotels, moving from place to place. In January 1947, she was last seen at the Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, waiting for someone she said was picking her up. No one knows who that person was. At the time, she was just another young woman trying to be noticed. It was what happened next that made her name unforgettable. Behind the mystery, Elizabeth was described as kind, soft-spoken, and polite. She liked to dress in black, with dark hair and careful makeup, which later inspired reporters to call her the Black Dahlia. She loved dancing, walking, and writing letters. Friends said she was gentle and shy, not wild as some headlines later claimed. Her real life was quieter than the stories written about her. On January 15, 1947, Elizabeth Short was found dead in Leimert Park, Los Angeles. She was only 22 years old. Her body had been brutally murdered and cut in half, posed in a vacant lot. The crime shocked the city. There were no clear witnesses, no clear answers, only horror and silence where a young life had been. The reaction was instant and massive. Newspapers printed her photo everywhere. Reporters invented rumors. Police questioned hundreds of people and followed countless leads. Many suspects appeared over the years, but no one was ever proven guilty. The case became one of the most famous unsolved murders in American history. For Los Angeles, it marked the moment when Hollywood's dream showed its darkest side. Today, Elizabeth Short is remembered not for what she achieved, but for what was taken from her. Her story appears in books, films, songs, and true crime shows. She became a symbol of lost innocence and broken dreams. People still ask the same questions: who did it? Why? And who was Elizabeth really? She wanted to be seen in the light. History remembers her in the dark, still waiting for the truth. She lived through Hollywood's golden age and television's rise, leaving her voice and face woven into American storytelling. Ruth Warrick was born on June 29, 1916, in St. Joseph, Missouri. As a teenager, she sang on local radio and dreamed of the stage long before cameras ever found her. Her big break came in 1941 with Citizen Kane. At just 24, she played Emily Norton Kane, the first wife of Charles Foster Kane. It was her film debut, and it placed her forever inside one of the most famous movies in history. But she didn't stop there. She worked steadily in films, radio, and theater, moving easily between drama and light entertainment. Then, in 1970, she found the role that would define her for generations. She became Phoebe Wallingford on the daytime soap All My Children. For more than 30 years, she played the warm, witty matriarch of Pine Valley. Viewers watched her grow older on screen, sharing marriages, heartbreaks, and quiet wisdom. She earned multiple Daytime Emmy nominations and, in 2004, received a Lifetime Achievement Award for her impact on television. Few actors ever get to be part of two historic moments in entertainment. She did. Off-screen, Ruth was gentle and disciplined. She never married and often said her work was her great love. She enjoyed poetry, music, and long walks. She kept her life simple even when fame could have made it loud. Friends said she listened more than she spoke, and when she spoke, people remembered it. Ruth Warrick died on January 15, 2005, in New York City. She was 88 years old. She passed away from pneumonia, quietly, after a long life spent telling stories. There were no scandals, just a graceful ending to a graceful journey. The reaction came with warmth and respect. Soap actors and classic film lovers shared memories. All my children honored her with tributes, and fans wrote about growing up with Phoebe in their living rooms. Film historians returned to Citizen Kane, reminding the world that she had helped shape its emotional core. Today, Ruth Warrick is remembered as a bridge between eras. She stood at the birth of modern cinema and stayed through the golden years of television. She showed that longevity itself can be a kind of greatness. Her characters felt like people you knew, not stars you watched from far away. Some lives are loud. Ruth Warrick's was quietly unforgettable. Fame found him as a child, but the weight of it followed him into darkness, leaving a talent that still aches to be remembered. Brad Barron Renfro was born on July 25, 1982, in Knoxville, Tennessee. He was raised by his grandmother and discovered at age 10 by a casting director while attending school, without ever planning to be an actor. Everything changed in 1994 when he starred in The Client beside Susan Sarandon and Tommy Lee Jones. His performance as a scared but brave boy hiding a deadly secret stunned audiences and critics. He was only 11, yet he carried the film with quiet strength. Soon came Sleepers in 1996, where he acted alongside Robert De Niro and Brad Pitt, proving his first success was no accident. Then, in Apt Pupil, 1998, he played a troubled teenager in a dark psychological story that showed his fearlessness as an actor. Hollywood saw him as the next big thing, a natural, a future star. But behind the screen, Brad struggled. Growing up fast in an adult world took its toll. He had trouble trusting people and often felt lost without guidance. He loved music, especially rock and blues, and said he felt most peaceful when listening alone. He was sensitive, easily hurt, and uncomfortable with fame. As he grew older, legal trouble and addiction began to replace movie roles, and the boy once praised as a prodigy slowly disappeared from headlines about film and into headlines about pain. On January 15, 2008, Brad Renfro was found dead in his Los Angeles apartment. He was only 25 years old. The cause was ruled an accidental overdose of heroin and morphine. He died alone, far from the sets that once celebrated him. A life that began with applause ended in silence. The reaction was heavy with sadness and regret. Actors who had worked with him spoke of his talent and kindness. Fans returned to his old films, shocked by how powerful he had been at such a young age. Many said the same thing. He had so much more to give. Hollywood mourned not just a man, but the future that never came. Today, Brad Renfro is remembered as one of the most gifted child actors of his generation. His performances still feel real, still breathe. In The Client, you see innocence mixed with courage. In Sleepers, pain behind young eyes. His story is often told as a warning about fame without protection, talent without safety, and how easily bright beginnings can turn dark. Some stars burn too fast for this world. Brad Renfro was one of them, still shining in the films that refused to let him be forgotten. He played charm like a weapon and mystery like a shadow, And even decades later, his presence still feels unforgettable. Peter Wyngarde was born on August 23, 1927, in London, though he sometimes said he was born in Singapore to make his story more mysterious. As a young man, he trained in classical theater and spoke several languages, already shaping the elegance he would later show on screen. His rise began in the 1960s. He appeared in serious films like The Innocents and The Siege of Sydney Street, earning respect as a dramatic actor. But true fame came in 1969 with the TV series Department S. His character, Jason King, was stylish, clever, and unforgettable. Audiences loved him so much that he got his own show, Jason King, in 1971. With his velvet suits, sharp wit, and confident walk, he became a symbol of cool British television. Years later, he reached a new generation in Flash Gordon, 1980, playing the dark and eerie villain Clytus. Whether hero or villain, he owned every scene he entered. Away from fame, Peter was deeply private. He loved classical music, poetry, and especially cats, often living with several at a time. He disliked interviews and avoided Hollywood life. He believed mystery was part of an actor's power. He dressed with flair in public but lived quietly in private, reading, listening to music, and staying far from noise. Peter Wyngarde died on January 15, 2018, in London. He was 90 years old. He passed away peacefully after a short illness. There were no headlines of chaos, just the quiet end of a man who had lived in his own elegant world. The reaction was filled with respect. British media remembered him as a television icon. Actors and fans shared memories of Jason King's style and confidence. Film lovers returned to his older roles, surprised by how modern he still felt. Many said the same thing. There was never anyone quite like him. Today, Peter Wyngarde is remembered as a master of presence. He showed that acting was not only about words, but about how you entered a room. His characters were bold, strange, charming, and unforgettable. In a world of loud fame, he chose controlled mystery. That choice made him timeless. Some stars fade when the screen goes dark. He looked like a man from the wild, gentle and strong at once, and for many, he became a childhood hero. Dan Haggerty was born on November 19, 1941, in Pound, Wisconsin. As a young man, he worked with animals, training bears, wolves, and big cats long before acting ever entered his life. His life changed in the mid-1970s. While working as an animal handler on a film set, he was suddenly asked to step in for an injured actor. That moment led him to the role of a lifetime. In 1977, he became Grizzly Adams in the television series The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams. With his long hair, beard, and calm voice, he played a man who chose nature over society. The show became a huge hit, watched by millions of families. Children loved him. Parents trusted him. He felt safe, honest, and real. The role turned him into a symbol of kindness and survival. After that, he appeared in films and shows like The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, and adventure movies that kept his rugged image alive. But no matter what he did, he would always be Grizzly Adams to the world. Behind the image, Dan was much like his most famous character. He loved animals deeply and often worked to protect them. He enjoyed quiet life more than Hollywood parties. He preferred the outdoors, fixing things with his hands and spending time away from noise. He was married twice and had children, and friends said he was gentle, patient, and thoughtful, just like the man people saw on screen. Dan Haggerty died on January 15, 2016, in Burbank, California. He was 74 years old. He had been battling spinal cancer, a painful illness that slowly weakened him. He passed away peacefully, surrounded by family, after months of fighting with quiet strength. The news brought sadness mixed with warmth. Fans shared memories of watching him as children, sitting close to the TV, dreaming of forests and freedom. Actors and animal lovers paid tribute to a man who showed respect for nature on and off the screen. For many, his death felt like losing a piece of childhood. Today, Dan Haggerty is remembered as more than an actor. He is remembered as a feeling, a time when television felt calm and hopeful. His face still appears in reruns, in old photos, in memories of simpler evenings. Grizzly Adams taught people to care about animals, about the land, and about kindness. And through that role, Dan left something gentle behind. Some heroes wear armor. Dan Haggerty wore kindness, and it still walks quietly through the forests of memory. He danced like he had no bones, smiled like he had no worries, and became a piece of magic the world never forgot. Ray Bolger was born on January 10, 1904, in Dorchester, Boston. As a boy, he was shy and small, but he discovered that dancing made people notice him and made him feel free. He began in vaudeville, performing in small theaters where audiences were close enough to see every step. His loose, rubbery style made him different from every other dancer. Broadway soon called. In the 1930s, he became a musical star known for speed, humor, and heart. But everything changed in 1939 with The Wizard of Oz. As the Scarecrow, he sang "If I Only Had a Brain" and danced in a way that looked clumsy but was actually brilliant. He brought innocence, humor, and deep emotion to a character who just wanted to be smart. The film became timeless, and so did he. Later, he returned to Broadway and won a Tony Award in 1949 for Where's Charlie? He also appeared on countless TV shows, always smiling, always moving, always reminding people of joy. Offstage, Ray was quiet and gentle. He loved reading, walking, and staying away from Hollywood drama. He once worked briefly as a shoe salesman before fame, and he never forgot what it meant to struggle. He was married to the same woman, Gwen Rickard, for over 50 years, a rare thing in show business. He believed laughter was serious work. Ray Bolger died on January 15, 1987, in Los Angeles. He was 83 years old. He passed away from complications related to bladder cancer. The man who once danced like air left the world quietly, without noise, just like he lived. The news brought soft sadness. Actors, dancers, and fans shared memories of watching The Wizard of Oz as children. Broadway theaters dimmed their lights. Television stations replayed his scenes. People didn't just mourn a performer, they mourned a feeling of childhood, of wonder, of simple happiness. Today, Ray Bolger is remembered as more than the Scarecrow. He is remembered as movement itself. His dancing still looks alive. His smile still feels warm. Every time The Wizard of Oz plays, new children meet him for the first time. And somehow, he never gets old. He reminds us that kindness can be funny, that softness can be strong, and that joy is worth sharing. Some stars shine bright. Ray Bolger danced among them and never stopped glowing.